timber.
A. Brown & Sons has great high-quality products. I'm excited.
Don't miss the annual stock reduction auction of high-quality nursery stock at A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Save hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The auction starts promptly at 7:19 a.m. on Saturday, September 12th, rain or shine. Come out and bid anytime during the day. 4 auction rings run all day. Brown's has a huge inventory of shade trees, shrubs, evergreens, ornamentals, and perennials. They're easy to find, just a half-mile north of Phillipsburg on State Route 49, 4 miles north of I-70, exit 24. Visit brownsnursery.com and click on the auction link for all the details.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at columbusequipment.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text SPARK to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPARK to 215215. That's SPARK to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Polking Bowling Centers are celebrating 75 years of family fun. Come celebrate with them August 31st through September 6th with 75 cents off all games of bowling and shoe rentals. Plus, check out their 75th anniversary package featuring a large pizza, a pitcher of soda, and 2 hours of bowling for up to 6 people. Let the 75 years of good times roll at Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue, Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kings Ridge Drive.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You want hot takes?
No, I'm not going to apologize to Ryan Day. Everything we said about Ryan Day up into the playoffs was true.
Not bad. Come on, Kenner. You can do better than that.
To be fair, of all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow is the least accomplished.
Getting better.
1,000,000%. I 1,000,000% believe that the Dayton Flyers are afraid of the Wright State Raiders. That's why they come up with every excuse in the book not to play them.
There it is. The hottest take of them all. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers, live on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It's the Justin Kenner Show live here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. Top of the hour, off and rolling here on a Tuesday. Yesterday's show was nothing but, of course, the Browns naming Deshaun Watson as their QB1 after the disastrous press conference in the postgame after preseason game number 2 against the Bills this past Saturday. We'll dive into a little bit more of that coming up around the corner. I do want to open up with the topic that I think we could all agree on. I think we've all seen enough preseason. Are we all preseasoned out? Are we all preseasoned out? I am. And for reasons like this. Look, you guys know I'm a Browns fan. When your team loses, the Bengals, when your team loses, I enjoy it. I don't enjoy when your players get hurt, however. I've never once smiled when Joe Burrow has gone out injured, all right? I've never once smiled when T. Higgins is hurt or Jamar Chase is hurt, and I definitely didn't smile when I saw this scare just a little bit ago. Jay Morris, in front of the show, tweeted out that Jamar Chase limped off after an incomplete deep ball, landed awkwardly. Trainers looking at him now. He's walking with them very slow. Now, this is an update from just about 20 minutes ago. More and more updates continue to come in that, again, he wasn't taken off On the golf cart. He wasn't taken off. He was able to walk around on his own, but still very slowly. He has not resumed practice. He has not stepped foot back out on the practice field. Jay Morrison, another tweet he had put out regarding the fact that teammates have come up to him and they've just had some lighthearted conversation on the sidelines. I don't think it's anything serious, but it's just it's stuff like that kind of reminds you, okay, like I'm over this stuff. Now, again, I'm also not naive enough to sit here and act like, okay, these practices aren't needed. These practices are definitely needed. These preseason games I don't think are needed. I do believe the joint practices go a long way in helping teams prepare for the upcoming season. It's nice to kind of go up against somebody in an opposing jersey that is not your teammate, that is not someone that you practice with and see every single day. I think that matters. Look, regardless of, and you hear this from coaches all the time, that September is not preseason, but September is the ugliest month of football. Because it takes a week, 2, sometimes 3 before teams, you're going to see a lot of ugly football in the first couple of weeks of the season. You're going to see a lot of penalties. You're going to see a lot of mistakes offensively, a lot of mistakes defensively. It takes a few weeks of actual games before you start to get into a rhythm a bit, good or bad. But seeing that clip of Jamar Chase kind of coming down awkwardly, it did look, he came up holding his leg. It wasn't like his foot. It was like his, a high ankle, whatever. Again, not a doctor. I went to school for 8 years, not a doctor. My family likes to remind me of that all the time. But here I am doing a sports talk radio show, not very intelligent, as you guys know. But the bottom line is, scary situation. Jamar Chase is going to be fine. I say that without, any reports on that, but it is a positive sign that he was up walking around on his own. And we'll continue to follow reports from Bengals camp. Look, that's the most exciting thing that has happened at Bengals camp since it got underway. And I don't mean that in a funny way. I just mean this is, a friend of mine, Reed. Shout out to Reed Mouse. Okay, I worked with him over at Chatterbox for years, right? And I remember people kind of picking on a take of his a while back where he said that the Bengals need to be boring. And fans, the last thing you want to hear about your team is that they're boring. You don't want your team to be boring. Right? But you do want your team to be good, and you want your team to win, and you want your team to make the playoffs, win the division, and make deep playoff runs, AFC championship games, NFC championship games, Super Bowl appearances, championships, all that. You want that. But sometimes, I've always said this about Cincinnati, less is more. Every year at camp, it's loud. Every year at camp, there is some cloud that is hovering above the organization, whether it be Joe Burrow, an injury, whether it be Trey Hendrickson trade request, whether it be Jamar Chase contract, dispute, and he's sitting in, right? Even if T. Higgins was practicing, there was still the cloud hanging over. Is this the final camp of T. Higgins, right? There's been a cloud for years that has kind of hovered above the Cincinnati Bengals organization since Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins arrived in Cincinnati. And I shouldn't say since they arrived, because technically it's been over the organization for the last 4 years, no doubt about it. Even when they started winning and getting to that Super Bowl, the sharks started coming for them. Well, that's fine, but they're not going to be able to keep it together. I was one of those sharks. Now, I was right. They weren't able to keep it together. They've missed the playoffs for 3 straight years and this, that, and the other. But the point is, there's always that cloud. This season, though, they've been boring. This preseason, if you will, this camp, it's been boring, right? Other than Joe Burrow's comment, again, people got annoyed with the media for over dissecting Joe Burrow's comment from this past Friday, even though I do blame him. Joe Burrow does. Okay, I don't want to get into the same topic again from last Friday, but I do put a lot of blame on Joe Burrow for why the media does what it does with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow likes to put out cryptic messages. He likes to go on media tours. He likes to be interesting, right? He likes to say things. He likes to make you think. And then when he gets you to think and he gets the media to think, you get mad because they are thinking and it's his fault. It's just a big example of gaslighting from Bengals fans is all it really is. But the bottom line is, if that's the noisiest preseason headline that comes out, that Joe Burrow wore a hat that said, "I work here," that's a good thing. You guys were mad at that. Bengals fans were mad that media was jumping and trying to, jumping on that, trying to dissect. What is the meaning of his hat? What does that have to do with anything? Joe Burrow, saying inspirational bumper sticker material type quotes of "it's now or never." Really coaching comment type of stuff, right? The fact that was turned into an entire show on Friday here and around all of sports media, that tells you just how good this preseason has been going. the fact that media, myself, we're trying to make stories out of nothing. I don't think it was nothing, by the way, but according to you. So if you guys think that that media is trying to make stories out of nothing, that's a good thing, because man, they have given us so much to rip them for in recent years. The lack of aggressiveness in the offseason, putrid drafts, right? Lack of aggressiveness with the free agents. The questioning, why did they tell Jamar Chase we'll get a deal done and then kind of back out right before camp, and then there's bad blood heading into camp, and now it's a distraction. Trey Hendrickson, one of the top pass rushers in the NFL, on the worst defense in the NFL. How does the worst defense in the NFL sit there and say that they're too good for one of the best pass rushers in the NFL? It's insane how much content that they gave us and made it easy. There's nothing to really dissect with this Bengals team. Everyone's kind of on the same page. The expectation is this team needs to be competing for a Super Bowl this year. Anything less is a failure. So the reason I bring this up is because today, obviously, it doesn't seem like it was anything serious, but it was definitely a scare, and it was the peak of the preseason as far as getting your attention. There's been nothing exciting. There's no, you know what I mean? This is a good thing. Less Bengals is more Bengals. Less Bengals headlines is a good thing. There's not much going on. I was listening to Mike. I always say Mike and Mike, but the Golicks, and technically is Mike and Mike. I was listening to Mike Golick Jr. and Mike Golick Sr. earlier today. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just call it Mike and Mike later in the morning instead of Mike and Mike in the morning. Mike and Mike slightly later in the morning. So I was listening to Mike and Mike slightly later in the morning with Mike Golick and Mike Golick Jr., and they were actually talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And just saying how refreshing it has been for the Dallas Cowboys to have such a quiet offseason. There's no drama. Everyone thought that the George Pickens thing with the contract dispute would lead to drama like most receivers in their teams and contract disputes like it turns into, but that hasn't been the case. It's been quiet. The Cowboys, very similar to Cincinnati, Super Bowl caliber offense, but less than, comparable defense. But they attacked the defense in free agency. They added Von Miller as of late, and they've been aggressive, very similar. I've always said this: the Cowboys are the Bengals of the NFC, and the Bengals are the Cowboys of the AFC. However you want to word that, but they're very similar. All gas, no brakes. All offense, no defense. Right? So they attack the defensive side. But they were talking about the Cowboys and just saying how boring of a preseason it has been. And it reminded me of Cincinnati. I think there's a lot of comparisons between the Cowboys and the Bengals. They've had so much noise in the offseason, so much offense in the regular season, no defense in the regular season, no postseason. Less Bengals is a good thing when you're talking about August and early, late July and August football at the end of the day. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show right here on 1410 ESPN Radio, 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call and jump in on the conversation as far as that's concerned. Last Thursday, I had a chance to check out Chappelle's summer camp over at Weird Pavilion in Yellow Springs. And appreciate Dave Chappelle and his team. They gave us, they invited us out to the show last week, and they've given us some passes again to attend his show this Thursday night. And I want to pass those passes on to you guys and give you guys a chance. So I'll tell you how you can win, tickets to see Dave Chappelle and friends and whatever he's calling it now, Chappelle Summer Camp. The show last Thursday, I'm assuming it's the same comedians Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They made it sound like that was the case. Like Whitney Cummings was one of the bigger names that was there last week. Shane Gillis, some huge name, a huge Shane Gillis fan. There's so many big names that come out for this. It's really cool, so unique. And, it's I remember when COVID happened, there was no source of entertainment. There was nothing out there. That's where this started, and it's still going strong right now. So I'll tell you, you have a chance. And Chad Kinser, like the Jacob Fatu quote. Yeah, all gas, no brakes. I can't do the, you know what I mean thing that he does. I'm too, I'm not, I can't do it. I'm not cool enough to do it as far as that's concerned. But nonetheless, I'll tell you how you can win tickets to see Dave Chappelle coming up this Thursday in Yellow Springs. When we come back, it's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday. 937-518-1410. What do you think, Bengals fans? Jamar Chase, obviously, I don't think it's a huge deal. It was just a huge scare. But it also reminds you, man, camp's been going on a long time. And then it also makes you look at the calendar and realize there's still a lot of camp left. Can the Bengals get through the next 2.5 weeks unscathed? Can any of our teams, for that matter? It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Hi, how can I help? Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager. I see. Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning? Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better. I feel better already. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Michael, your service manager at Dave Arbogast Buick GMC in Troy, Ohio. I am inviting you to give us an opportunity to earn your business. We have expanded our hours to better meet your needs. We are now open until 6 p.m. during the week and 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturdays. We service all makes and models. We offer convenient shuttle service as well as pickup and delivery. Please visit us on the web at arbogastbuickgmc.com or in person. Exit 69 on I-75. Look for the giant American flag. I hope to see you soon.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
In a recent survey of 123,000 wireless customers, Pure Talk was the only wireless company to receive 5 stars in every category: coverage, support, value, and data. What else do you need to know? Switch to Pure Talk today and get any plan, including their top shelf unlimited data plan, for just $15 a month for your first 3 months. No contract, no commitment. Dial pound 250, say micro, and let Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team help you make the switch.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
August is Psoriasis Action Month, and August 13th is GPP, or Generalized Pustular Psoriasis Awareness Day. While the name includes psoriasis, GPP is a rare and distinct disease. Symptoms of GPP appear both on and beneath the skin. Here's certified physician assistant Marie Fabin.
GPP is a chronic disease
driven by an imbalance in the body's IL-36 pathway, a pathway that normally helps manage inflammation. This imbalance can cause inflammation and trigger flares of sudden, painful pustules, as well as joint pain and fevers. Many people with GPP also report anxiety, depression, and constant fear of the next flare. The effects can even be life-threatening, and while there's no cure, GPP can be successfully managed.
If you think that you or a loved one may be affected by GPP, visit gppandme.com for more information and resources, including a tool to find a dermatology specialist near you. This information was sponsored by Leo Pharma.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Kyle Bogan, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value and have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you're being treated by the very best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit oda.org.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. So I'm kind of confused because, I thought CJ Uzomah, didn't he bash your Cincinnati Bengals? CJ Uzomah said that the Bengals were cheap and would struggle retaining their talent on a podcast back in 2022. He said he got lowballed and sentenced to a multi-year deal with the Jets in 2022. I mean, just ripping the Bengals in a podcast, taking a shot at them. He was upset, with the Bengals for not retaining his services. And again, that's fine. A lot of players, a lot of employees. I mean, if you request a raise, don't get your raise, you leave your job, you're gonna, you're gonna badmouth them on the way out. I guess it just, for one, I don't look at Uzomah as one of the all-time great Bengals, so there's that part of it. Two, him bad-mouthing the team on the way out. Okay, fine. I can sympathize with that. We're all human. If we're not happy with our employer and we kind of feel disrespected, we're going to voice our opinion on the way. That's all great, but did find it interesting. CJ Uzomah again signing a one-day deal to retire with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's going to be involved with the team moving forward, and all that. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting. Nonetheless, but we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday, 937-518-1410. I do want to share this with you. I told you on the last part of the show that last Thursday I had a chance to go check out, Dave Chappelle and his summer camp show over at Weird Pavilion in Yellow Springs. And they're doing the final summer camp shows in the cornfields coming up this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay. And they invited us out last Thursday, had a great time out there, and I'm taking advantage of the invite again. But they did hook us up with a handful of passes, so I want to make sure I get to pass it on to you guys. Right now, if you get out your phones, and for you listening to the show right now, 937-518-1410, text comedy to 937-518-1410. If you text comedy to 937-518-1410, you'll be entered into a contest to win tickets to go see Dave Chappelle and company at Weird Pavilion at the Cornfields in Yellow Springs coming up this Thursday. So take advantage of that. Text comedy 937-518-1410 for your chance to, again, you will your name. Again, if you are selected as a winner, we will we'll need your name and email. So, by the way, it's going to ask you for a prompt to provide your name and email and contact info. Please fill out that prompt. If you don't fill out that prompt, even though you've texted, you won't have a chance to win because we won't know who we're contacting. So make sure you fill out that contact capture form when we do that. And we're going to be doing a lot of contests, a lot of giveaways. I'll be giving away some Tim McGraw tickets coming up later on as well on tomorrow's show. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. Hawthorne Heights going to be out at the Rose, Ohio's for Lovers Festival. I'm excited about that. So again, a lot of cool stuff we'll be giving away here over the coming weeks, nonetheless. Okay. Again, one more time, comedy, text comedy, 937-518-1410. We opened up the show. I said, look, as much as I enjoy when bad things happen to the Cincinnati Bengals, what I mean by that is I just enjoy when your team loses, or I enjoy if a player is disgruntled and demands a trade, like when Trey Hendrickson did that. I enjoyed that. I enjoy when you don't get good players in free agency. I enjoy that. I enjoy when the Bengals think that they drafted a Pro Bowl caliber player and he becomes a bust. You guys do that a lot. I enjoy a lot of things that your team does poorly, just like you guys got a huge, laugh out of the Browns QB situation, not just this past weekend, but for years now, decades. But I never enjoy when a player gets injured. I never, not once throughout Joe Burrow's career in Cincinnati, I've never once smiled or thought, ha, or, take that, Bengals fans. Never once done that. I'm not a psychopath, okay? All right, I'm crazy, but I'm not a psychopath. I will never root for another player to get injured. As far as that's concerned. So when I read the headline a little bit ago that Jamar Chase got injured at practice, it was not, oh, that sucks for Bengals fans. It was, no, that does suck. Here's the deal. Here's my, as a Browns fan, I want your team to fail without any excuses. And what I mean by that is I want to see the disappointment on Joe, Jamar, and T's face on the field. I want to see them on the field. I want to see them walking off the field as losers, because even while fully healthy, they couldn't get the job done. Now, that's just fan banter. I'm not asking for anything catastrophic or bad to happen to them individually, personally. And what I don't like is when Joe Burrow doesn't make the playoffs, but even I, as a hater, have to acknowledge it may not be his fault. That defense is kind of bad. Oh, man, Joe Burrow is not very – this offense isn't clicking right now. Well, that offensive line isn't good. You don't have a run game. Even I can acknowledge those things. Okay. So what I want is I want your team to come up short. I want your team to fail, but I want them to fail healthy. So no, I did not enjoy. Okay. I had some bozo reach out and text the hotline saying, oh man, I bet you enjoyed that. I bet you enjoyed seeing Jamar get hurt. No, I need to put that out there right now. There's not one part of me that ever enjoys watching players on opposing teams or rival teams of my teams get hurt. I don't want the quarterback at Michigan to get hurt. You know what I mean? That's just silly. I don't think I need to put that disclaimer out there, but just in case, I am a Browns fan. I am a part of a fan base that boos when our players get hurt. I don't know if that matters. I don't know what's the ruling for if you boo your player or cheer? I guess technically cheer when your player gets hurt. So there's that, but either way, no, not cool. And like I said, the camp is like you wait. Like I did feel like when camp officially started, I'm like, oh, finally we have football. And then when camp gets started and you get a preseason game or two in, you're like, all right, I'm kind of over camp. And like yesterday, like my big thing about the Deshaun Watson thing with Cleveland is I have no clue why they felt they needed to announce it yesterday. With 3 weeks between the second preseason game and the official kickoff on the 13th of September, I have no clue why yesterday had to be the day that the Browns announced QB1, especially when the QB1 was already facing so much controversy following his comments in the postgame on Saturday night. So I thought that was strange, but it also made me realize, like, holy smokes, like 3 weeks, we still have almost a month left before we actually get to the things that matter. So the fact that Jamar has come up injured and does appear to be okay. I think he's a little banged up. I've been refreshing the feed and following the beat reporters for the Bengals, who all do a great job. Jay Morrison said that Jamar Chase has been staying put on the sideline during a break between periods. Dexter Lawrence just went over to him to check on him. Looked like a light, casual conversation. He was trying to read the facial expressions. Nothing damning there. As far as that's concerned, he did say this, and I don't know what to make of it. T. Higgins took his pads off as well. He's been standing next to Jamar Chase on the sideline. Jamar keeps flexing his left leg, but trainers are no longer over there attending to Jamar Chase, so that's a good thing. So we'll just be following that, but he has not returned to practice out on the field physically. So there you go. Yeah, Jay Morrison 20 minutes ago said that Jamar Chase is still working out the kink as team drills resume. So Just keep that in mind. We'll continue to keep you updated as the show goes along. It doesn't seem like it's serious, but at the same time, it was enough to kind of put a scare into Bengals fans and football fans across the board. So we'll keep you updated on that. Definitely hope that it's nothing serious. But, this is I think this is the toughest time of the season for coaches when it comes to managing your roster, because you've made it this far into camp and there's been no serious injuries, right? I think by the way, Dexter Lawrence is a freaking beast, man. And I could be excited about him because I was I complimented the hell out of your team for being aggressive enough and having the cojones to give up a top 10 first round pick to go get him. The dude's a stud. And I don't know if you guys saw the clip yesterday, but P. Ryan was over on the sideline and was banged up, roughed up, and injured because Dexter Lawrence just absolutely destroyed this dude. And I don't even think Dexter Lawrence was actually giving it his all. I don't think Dexter Lawrence was headhunting. Dexter Lawrence wasn't running full speed. Dexter Lawrence is a freaking brick wall, man. I don't even have the video. I got to find it. I'm sure Bengals fans, you have social media. I guarantee you've seen it. I watched so many of you, comment on it on social media. It's an unbelievable hit. You got a beast in Dexter Lawrence. But the point is there's so much time between now and when the season officially kicks off. You just hope that injury scared to Jamar Chase, that's the last of it. Samaje Perine got beat up, but that was because he ran into, a freaking wall, as we talked about. But other interesting news out of Bengals camp yesterday. The Bengals they are releasing offensive lineman Cody Ford. He played in 50 of the 51 regular season games with the team over his 3 seasons in Cincinnati. That is one familiar face that, I know not a very good offensive lineman, but again, that's a lot of experience that the Bengals just outright released. So that is interesting. And keep in mind, that's always been my big argument about the Bengals offensive line. If you notice, the Bengals never come out and say, hey, we really, really like this offensive line. They just really like that there's familiarity with this offensive line. We'll see what ends up happening, but that's a lot of experience. It's a lot of playing time in the O-line. I think he'll be picked up somewhere. I don't think he's a missing puzzle piece by any means. A depth piece, no doubt. I just am, fascinated by the Bengals deciding to cut ties with him. What do you guys consider this early into camp, late into camp? I don't know, but I thought it was an interesting move. Nonetheless, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I just refreshed it. It looks like we have 36 entries for the tickets to see Dave Chappelle's summer camp this Thursday night. So 36 entries thus far. Keep those coming in. Text comedy 937-518-1410. Text comedy 937-518-1410. And to give yourself a chance to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle this Thursday night at Weary Pavilion. Nonetheless, what up, Ro? Ro's watching on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. He says, "What's up, Justin? I'm watching you live. Can't wait until we're back at Frickers." Ro, I don't know if you missed the message yesterday or the announcement yesterday, or if for those who missed the announcement yesterday, no, not who the Browns QB1 is. We will be returning to Frickers for another year of the Sunday morning tailgate show. We will be out at Frickers in Miamisburg every Sunday, starting week 1, September 13th on that Sunday. From September 13th all the way through February 14th, Super Bowl Sunday. Every Sunday at the Frickers in Miamisburg, we'll be setting up shop there and doing the show live from 11 to 1, recapping all that's happened on college football Saturday and getting you set for that day's slate of NFL action. So make sure you keep that in mind. We'll have more on that as we get closer to our first show. Okay, we talked a lot about the Browns yesterday, and I do want to dive back into the Browns a little today before we shift gears back to the Reds, who there's the white flag is officially being waved on the Reds season. But last night we got a chance to see Chase Burns, who had his worst outing of the season. A lot of people say, hey, go out on a high note. Should we see Chase Burns step foot on a mound again here in 2026? We'll discuss coming up here around the corner as well. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday. Text comedy to see Dave Chappelle this Thursday for a chance to see Dave Chappelle this Thursday night at Weary Pavilion in Yellow Springs. 937-518-1410. Text comedy. We'll be right back.
Veterans, were you exposed to harmful burn pit smoke while serving overseas? The Department of Veterans Affairs has recognized and is providing benefits to veterans who suffer with asthma, rhinitis, and sinusitis as a result of burn pit exposure. If you served in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations or Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Syria, or Djibouti, and suffer from any respiratory illnesses that you believe is a result of exposure to burn pits, contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Are you tired of just being a number? Platinum Express in Dayton treats you like family because you are. Now hiring over-the-road company truck drivers, owner-operators, and teams. Platinum Express has no-touch freight ready to move with consistent miles and excellent benefits. Platinum Express has local drivers to assist with load delivery and real dispatchers who pick up the phone. Call Mina at Platinum Express today at 937-604-8250. That's 937-604-8250.
Nobody builds a business without hearing a few reasons it won't work. Too risky, too crowded, too ambitious. But the people who move things forward usually hear those words first. Because growing a business takes more than optimism. It takes nerve, and eventually, a partner built for what's next. That's Next Rodeo. Big thinking, proven creative. For businesses still moving forward. Next Rodeo. The difference between the business you have and the business you want. Meet us at thenextrodeo.com.
That pallet of pavers collecting dust, the beginnings of a garden, those stray fence posts. Are you haunted by half-finished projects on your land? John Deere is here to say, not anymore. Our compact tractors allow you to swap implements easily, and they're backed by the nation's largest dealer network. You always had the right idea, and with the right tools, those projects can get finished for good. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/compact tractors.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Looking for the best venue for your upcoming event or party? Check out our VIP suite at Polking Lane South. It's a unique state-of-the-art VIP private 8-lane luxury suite. It's not too late to book your holiday party. Call today and let the good times roll. Let us host your holiday event at any of our centers. Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue. Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive. Or Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kingsridge Drive.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken has never been an overnight sensation. But because of you, we've been an every night sensation for the last 6 decades. That's literal tons of famous chicken served. But we're not here to boast about quantity. We're here to tell you our legacy of quality hasn't changed and never will. So celebrate 60 years with the 1966 box, featuring 10 pieces of famous chicken, because we make the chicken, but you made us famous. Only at Lee's, famous for a reason.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Now, back to the Justin Kenner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
937-518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. We're giving away tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Warwick Pavilion for Chappelle's summer camp. It's the final camp of the summer. And again, I appreciate that Dave Chappelle and his team, they invited us out to the show last week at a blast there, and they reached back out, and they're hooking us up with more passes, and we want to pass those along to you, our listeners. So if you are out and about, you're listening to the show right now, and you have interest in Thursday night checking out Dave Chappelle in the cornfields again, Yellow Springs, text comedy 937-518-1410. Text comedy 937-518-1410. I've already close to 100 people that have already texted in trying to win these tickets. And again, while supplies last, we'll get these out as quickly as we can if you are selected as a winner. So keep that in mind. And when you do text that number, it's going to ask for a contact capture, which is just for you to provide your name and email. So make sure you're doing that. If you don't do that, you won't be eligible to win any of the prizes that in contests that we do. So it is important that you guys take the time to fill that out. So make sure you take advantage of that. The Reds, I mean, if you would have, I was confident. I'll never sit here and act like I wasn't like being I don't even think I was a homer. I look at the Reds pitching, and I looked at the fact that they added Suarez, and I had high hopes for the offense. I thought a bounce back year from Matt McClain. I did think that the Reds were going to be significantly more competitive than what they have been or than what they are right now. They've been competitive for the majority of the year, but the wheels have definitely fallen off. Everyone kept saying, oh man, look out for early September. That's when the wheels are going to fall off. I think I promise you the wheels will not fall off in early September because there will not be any wheels to fall off in early September. The wheels have fallen off. All right. The Reds are 3-7 in their last 10. All right. They've lost back-to-back. I mean, they got shut out last night. I think the Reds are tied for the Major League Baseball lead, losing via shutout 14 times. They have been shut out 14 times throughout the season. Okay. And 62-70. I never thought, I didn't think that this team I never guaranteed that they'd win the division. I thought that they would compete for the division. I never in 100 years would have thought that they'd be 19.5. There's a good chance they end up finishing the season 22, 23 plus games back in this division. Wild. And it's getting worse as far as the wild card goes. 9.5 back, or 9 games back. I'm sorry, 9. The Nationals are bums. Okay. They're 9.5 back. The Reds are, way better than the Nationals. They're 9 games back. 62-70. All right. Game 2 tonight in San Francisco. We'll see Brady Singer on the mound. And I just think for a lot of you, you've checked out, and rightfully so. I will never sit here and try to oversell the Reds. A lot of you thought that's what I was doing a couple weeks ago. I don't think I was doing that a couple weeks ago. Coming out of the All-Star break, they had the 3rd best record. 3 weeks, a month after the All-Star break, they had the 3rd best record in baseball. I don't think that was me overselling anything. But I've always said when they're playing good, I'm going to tell you, I'm excited about it. They're playing good. When they're bad, I'm going to tell you they're bad. They're bad right now. And last night, Chase Burns, who the Reds are when he's on the mound, okay, the Reds are 14-2 when he's on the mound. And this is a team that's 8 games under 500. They're 19 back in the division, 19 and a half games back in the division, 9 games back in the wild card. And they have a pitcher that they are 14-2 when he's on the mound. And they have another pitcher on Hunter Green that is very capable of having a similar record to that if he could just stay healthy. And can you imagine having a second pitcher in this rotation that's healthy doing similar things to Chase Burns? But last night doesn't matter. It wasn't the case. Chase Burns, first time all season that he doesn't make it past the 5th inning. All right. Just falls short of going a complete 4 last night. Gives up 5 earned runs on 9 hits. Easily his worst start of the season. Now, at this point, I know this sounds crazy. I don't want to see Chase Burns again this year. The problem with saying that is if you say you don't want to see Chase Burns again this year, that means you're not going to see Chase Burns again until probably 2028, which is kind of crazy because there's not going to be a season next year. You guys know my opinion on that. It's a looming lockout. There's going to be a lockout. There will be no spring training will not start on time. And I have a hard time believing that if the owners are this serious about a salary cap and that the players are dead serious on never even entertaining the idea of a salary cap, I don't see a season next year happening anytime soon. So I thought that the big drama with Chase Burns and the back half of the season was going to be them shutting him down in the midst of a playoff race. But right now, what are you playing for? All right. You're already without Hunter Green for all of this season and all of next season. You might be without everybody all of next season, but out with another significant injury. Okay. Sal Stewart, obviously, is phenomenal. I can't believe that we're still debating who's the National League Rookie of the Year. I don't know how you could see what this cat has done this year and still look at the kid in St. Louis, who, by the way, I think is phenomenal. But, I mean, if we're going to sit there and say that he's the definitive National League Rookie of the Year because of his defensive metrics, then I think you have to look at the Reds and you need to look at their third baseman, and I think you need to give him the damn MVP then. Because if that's how we're going to do this, if we're going to sit here, all right, and we're going to talk about, Ke'Bryan Hayes and how dominant defensively he is, and still say he should not be on the team because offensively he's just not there, then I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I would love, all right, Ke'Bryan Hayes to be able to hit the baseball. But the point is, I just can't believe you watch Sal Stewart. He has the clutch gene. He has the power, right? And I think that the fact that he could play multiple positions, there's a lot of people out there. I think he should be the everyday third baseman moving forward. I think that this team needs to look for a first baseman, or they need to move. If you really want to keep Spencer Steer, I think Spencer Steer needs to be your everyday first baseman. He was a Gold Glove finalist at first base last year. He can hit. He's one of the, if he doesn't get hurt, he was one of the most sought after targets at the trade deadline this year until he got hurt and the Reds couldn't move him. I would put that Gold Glove candidate back at first base. All right. I would keep Sal Stewart at third base. You have Elliott short, Matt McClain. It's so frustrating because the same reasons why people want Ke'Bryan Hayes gone are the same reasons why you want Matt McClain, but he's all defense. Can you imagine this Reds team would be a World Series contender if Ke'Bryan Hayes could just hit at an average pace? If Matt McClain can just return to somewhat of what he looked like his rookie year 2-3 years ago, mixed with Ellie and Sal and a healthy Spencer Steer and a Tyler Stevenson. And with that pitching, yes, this team is a damn good team. But man, they have issues. They have a lot of issues. I don't know. When you have one of the best defensive second basemen in all of baseball, Matt McClain, he can't hit. And you have the best defensive third baseman in baseball, and he can't hit either. That's a problem on a team who collectively also can't hit. So to go back to my original point here, the big drama I thought that we were going to be facing was, oh my gosh, what if the Reds in the midst of, what happens if in the midst of a playoff race, if the Reds pull the trigger and shut him down because he's on a pitch count or innings count, Chase Burns, it would be the responsible thing to do to continue to stick to that innings count. We saw the Nationals way back when in the midst of a playoff race, and they get to the playoffs, and because they were strict with it, they didn't allow Strasburg to pitch because remember how the uproar about that. Responsible organizations do that. I would have ripped the Reds if they did that, but I'm also happy that they didn't. But I'm also concerned every time I see Chase Burns. I used to get all excited when I'd see Chase Burns' name pop up on the today's starter tab. Now I'm questioning why the hell is he even warming up? Why is he even stepping foot back on the field? Now you can shut him down. Not that Terry Francona needs Justin Kinner's permission, but I hope the organization has agreed. And maybe last night's bad outing from him is his arm starting to get tired. This is the most innings he's ever pitched in a season. He has never pitched this deep into the season. In fact, at the All-Star break, he had, if you think back to last season and you account for his time in the minors and his time being called up to the Reds, he had already surpassed those inning totals before the All-Star break. And he's still pitching at a high level all the way to this point of the season. Now, last night was not good, obviously, but rather than throw him out there and risk, if maybe he is getting a little arm fatigue and he's finding a way to overcompensate that could lead to other injuries. And what you don't want now, if you're the Reds, especially when it comes to pitching, you don't want any significant arm injury for a pitcher this late into the season, because any significant arm injury at this point of the season is going to bleed into next season. And I get it. There isn't a next season. And maybe that's the Reds thinking. We're going to continue pitching him. There's not going to be a season next year. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is of the Reds organization, but I know the wrong thinking is we got to continue throwing him out there. This team their playoff hopes are dead in the water. They're done. They are done. Okay. There's no point to continue to throw Chase Burns out there whatsoever. And part of it has to do with how poorly he looked last night. Yes. But the other part has a lot to do with the fact that, okay, Reds, you were worried about the pressure that you were going to be put under, especially with the season-ending injury to Hunter Green. And then you're going to shut down Chase Burns. Who's going to be your ace if you do somehow get lucky and make the playoffs? It doesn't matter. This team's not making the playoffs. And we'll see what happens. This has been a very anticlimactic finish to this season. And the thing is, the season's not done. Still have another week in August and all of September. Yeah, all of September to get through. Painful, Reds fans, painful. Either way. Ron, hope you're well. Ron Howard, he pops on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. He said, Hal McCoy said that this was the most embarrassing loss that he ever witnessed. Hal has covered and watched the Reds for decades upon decades upon decades. I did not see that, Ron, but if Hal McCoy is saying that, that's how bad of a performance that was for the Reds last. Again, they have been shut out 14 times this year. 14 times they've been shut out this season. That's tied for the major league lead in that category. I actually don't even know. I saw that, and I don't even know who they're tied with. I don't even know who the other team is. If I had to guess, just looking at the pecking order of teams good to bad, if I had to guess, it would be right there. Would it be the Athletics? Would it be the Rockies? The Rockies have a minus 146 run differential. The Athletics have a minus 190 run differential. They've been outscored by 190 runs. I thought the Rockies was bad. I mean, the A's is the worst. Actually, there's only two teams that have a triple-digit run differential in the negative, and that's the Colorado Rockies and, of course, the Athletics. The Reds are close. Their run differential, they've been outscored by 99 runs on the year. Outside of those, the Giants, it's minus 75. All right, minus 72 for the Angels. 91 for the Royals. This is the category that the Reds are in. It's not good. Not good as far as that's concerned. And look, you have to have balance. You have to be able to, you look at the Braves who are plus 110. They are plus 110 in the run differential department, right? In fact, that's the most impressive one in baseball. The Dodgers, that's the second most impressive, the third most impressive. My goodness, my apologies. So the Braves are plus 110. All the first place teams in baseball, in the National League especially, all of them are 110 or higher in the positive run differential. The Braves plus 110. The Brewers are plus 161. The Dodgers are plus 151. The Cubs, who are in second place, are plus 122. The Reds are minus 99 right now, okay? And, everyone keeps bringing up their schedule in September. I talked about it. The fact that the Reds are going to play the Brewers, who are plus 151, the 161. The Dodgers are 151. They're going to play the Brewers in 2 series in September. The Dodgers in 2 series. The Cubs are plus 140 in run differential. The Braves are 110 in run differential, and they play all of those teams in the month of September. Absolutely brutal. I am curious. Let me go back. What was the Rays, since they play them to close it out? There's not the Rays. I'm sorry. It's the Blue Jays. Luckily, the Blue Jays struggle scoring runs. They have a minus 55 run differential. So, yeah, it's not good for your Cincinnati Reds, nonetheless. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday, 937-518-1410. Text comedy to 937-518-1410 for your chance to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle in the cornfields at Weird Pavilion over in Yellow Springs this Thursday night. It's the final Chappelle Summer Camp series of the summer. So make sure you give yourself a chance to win those tickets. Text comedy 937-518-1410. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. You're listening to 1410 ESPN Radio.
Dayton's radio home for Buckeyes football. 1410 WING. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Transform your home in one weekend when you shop at Menards. Revolutionize your space with Pittsburgh's Revolution Interior Paint and Primer in one. It offers game-changing stain and scuff resistance in just one coat, making it perfect for any room of your home. Save big on Revolution Interior Paint and start your painting project today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at columbusequipment.com.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast partly cloudy, 60 tonight, mostly sunny and 85 tomorrow. Thursday, mostly sunny, but a chance of a storm and a high of 84. I'm Rick Schremp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Michael, your service manager at Dave Arbogast Buick GMC in Troy, Ohio. I am inviting you.
Days or less. Save big on Mastercraft doors. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids, let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Polking Bowling Centers are celebrating 75 years of family fun. Come celebrate with them August 31st through September 6th with 75 cents off all games of bowling and shoe rentals. Plus, check out their 75th anniversary package featuring a large pizza, a pitcher of soda, and 2 hours of bowling for up to 6 people. Let the 75 years of good times roll at Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue, Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kings Ridge Drive.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
Hour number 2, it's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday, 937-518-1410. That's the number to call. And jump in on the conversation. You can text into the show as well. We did get an update on Jamar Chase. Shout out to Mo Egger on 1530 over ESPN 1530 over in Cincinnati. They are live at Bengals camp right now, and I guess Jamar Chase made a quick radio hit with them over at camp. This is according to Kelsey Conway. Jamar Chase on the radio right now with Tony Pike and Mo Egger, and he says that he's good and said it was just a little hyperextension. Said that he could have kept going if he needed. Other quotes coming from Jamar Chase saying that if they played tomorrow, he'd be out there. So do with that what you will. I don't know what a little hyperextension means. I mean, anytime you hear hyperextension for a receiver like Jamar Chase, look, it could have been a lot worse. It's not as bad as what everyone had thought it initially. And I think the reason that so many Bengals fans, all of you, kind of held your breath and panicked the way you did is because, every year you guys get hit with something. You get hit with something, some kind of major blow, especially early in the season. And this has been one of those quiet, aggressive off seasons, quiet off seasons. We talked about this to open up the show. The fact that this camp has just been boring is a good thing. This has been a very boring Bengals camp. There's been no drama. I mean, the most dramatic thing up until this injury that has happened is Joe Burrow wore a green hat that said, "I work here." That was the most dramatic thing that has happened in Bengals camp up until this point. So that tells you that the Bengals had a good offseason. All right. I was listening, and I did talk about this in the first hour as well. I was listening to the Golics earlier, and they were talking about the Dallas Cowboys and how this has been kind of an uncharacteristic offseason and camp for them. Jerry Jones hasn't said anything crazy. They haven't been in the headlines for any kind of drama. In fact, they had a lot of needs at defensively after moving on from Micah Parsons last offseason, and they've addressed a lot of those needs. They just added Von Miller recently. They've added veteran defensive pieces and trying to find a way to provide a balanced defense to complement the offense, very similar to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then, in fact, there's so many similarities between the Cowboys and the Bengals because both have Super Bowl level offenses. And I mean, if there was a G League for the NFL, G League caliber defenses. I mean, it's been that bad for both the Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals. So, and also, very similar, like both, Super Bowl caliber offenses, horrific defenses, both horrific defenses in recent years decided to move on from one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Now, I will always take Micah Parsons over, over Trey Hendrickson. But the bottom line is it's just so interesting to me, the parallels that exist between the Cowboys and the Bengals. In fact, if you go back to last season, I said, man, when you look at the Cowboys, they are the Bengals of the NFC and the Bengals are the Cowboys of the AFC. So is what it is. But the point is the Cowboys, very quiet offseason. There's not a whole lot going on. All right, George Pickens, you thought that was going to be a noisy camp, potential holdout situation because he wanted paid. He didn't get paid, and yet he's still there working hard, wanting to help the team win and move forward. But he's been out there, and as much as I love Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as far as that wide receiver combo, I think that the second best wide receiver combo is CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I mean, that's a hell of a combo right there. George Pickens is good enough to be a number one anywhere else, just like T. Higgins is. I think that George Pickens, when his mind is right, the reason I'll take T over George Pickens is because I think T is just a more stable individual, and I think is more of a leader. Now, Pickens, to his credit, is showing leadership caliber traits with not allowing this potential contract dispute to get in the way and create a distraction in camp. But I think that the wide receiver, so you have the two best wide receiver combos in the NFL. Two, I think Joe Burrow is better than Dak, no doubt about it. But two, great leaders at quarterback. I mean, again, the parallels between the two are unmatched. So to sum up, Cowboys, very quiet camp. Bengals, very quiet camp. And when the only thing you could talk about is what color hat and what the little saying is on Joe Burrow's hat, if that's what gets the media talking, because there's nothing else to talk about. There's no star pass rusher demanding a trade. There's no Jamar Chase one day practicing, one day not, holding in, holding out. Don't know what the hell's going on. T. Higgins practicing but not happy with his situation, right? All of that is gone. And there's question marks, but good question marks. It's, man, how much better? The question is, how much better is this defense going to be with all the veteran leaders that were added in the offseason? Not just veteran, good defensive pieces, but veteran leaders coming from championship, franchises. You have Mafe coming from a Super Bowl champion, Seahawks team. You obviously have the, Cook, the safety, coming over from the Chiefs, and you look at the pass rushers and Allen and everything else, and a former All-Pro. These are all winners coming over. And that was one of my biggest criticisms of the Bengals is trying to patch together a team defensively with all rookies without any veteran leaders to show them how to win and prepare. It reminded me so much of the Cincinnati Reds. You have all these great young talents over the years, like your Matt McClains and your L.A. De La Cruzes and now your Sal Stewarts. But who is that veteran player in the lineup that is showing them how to be a pro? And you look at the rotation for the Reds. You've had your Hunter Greens and your Nick Lodolos for years, but there was never that veteran presence in there. I mean, you've had your Wade Mileys and guys like that over the years, but like that guy to show them how to be a star, that never existed. That exists now for the Bengals defensively, and I think that's going to go a long way in helping these young guys kind of all gel and come together. But I think the fact that this is the first noise to come out of camp is a good thing. The only bad thing is you see this Jamar Chase injury and you're like, okay, good. It's not as bad as what we thought. But then you realize that it's August 25th and you still have the rest of this week and another 2 weeks. You have 2.5 weeks, just under 3 weeks left before the kickoff to the season. And you've made it this far, almost unscathed. Can you make it another 3 weeks injury-free to some of your key contributors? That's going to be the big question. And I think that, from a radio host perspective, I hope Joe Burrow has some more of those cryptic messages. I hope that, that he's eating a turkey sandwich at a press conference so that we could talk about what is it that he has against ham and have a whole segment on it. Like I need something. But the best thing for you guys is no content from the Bengals, because if there's no content from the Bengals, that means everyone's healthy, everyone's progressing along, there's no drama, there's no injuries, there's no concern. We know how it works in this industry. If it bleeds, it leads. Well, Jamar Chase was almost bleeding today. But again, he tells Tony Pike and Mo Egger of 1530 ESPN in Cincinnati, a small hyperextension, that he could have continued practicing if he needed to, but he did not. And he said if there was a game tomorrow, he would be playing. So do with that what you will, nonetheless. But the Bengals avoid a disaster there with Jamar Chase and that leg either way. So, all right, I'm Justin Kinner. It's 414 here in the Miami Valley, 937-518-1410. I want to switch gears back to the Browns real quick, because so much of Deshaun Watson in the news yesterday was about Deshaun Watson. And I think that, and my biggest gripe, and I shared it on social media today, and we just talked about it with the Bengals, camp has been long and grueling. And you think that, man, we're almost to the end. And then you look at the calendar, like there's still 3 weeks left. That's my point. There is 3 weeks left between now and when the season kicks off, which makes yesterday's announcement of Deshaun Watson as QB1 in Cleveland so infuriating, because they created a PR nightmare for no damn reason. There was already a fire that the PR team for the Browns was trying to put out with Deshaun Watson's stupid comments in the postgame on Saturday. But then to make the fire worse, all right, to fan the flames, to add fuel to the fire, you name that disgruntled quarterback as QB1 less than 48 hours later. That was absolutely moronic of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you took a situation that just when you think it couldn't get any worse, you made it worse yourself by naming that said disgruntled QB who just went off on your fan base, who you're trying to appease. Those are your customers, by the way. I mean, Browns fans, say what you want about Browns fans, but they're we're a goofy bunch, but man, we are loyal as hell. But you don't want to test that loyalty too much, because I think you're kind of flying too close to the sun here. It was a PR disaster announcing him as QB1 yesterday. You had 3 weeks between that second preseason game and the kickoff to the season on September 13th. There was no reason to name him the starter yesterday. So while all the eyes and all the headlines and all the attention is on Deshaun Watson, everyone's talking about the fact that, man, Shadeur Sanders has just become so much more likable, which, by the way, I've never disliked Shadeur Sanders. I think he's very, we'll just say confident, but a little too confident for the, for the liking of a lot of people, some, me included. I don't think he's done anything to deserve it. I don't think he's done anything in Cleveland to, justify him carrying that confidence around. However, I will compliment him, because as immature as people like to say that he is, I actually think that he has handled this. I think he's knocked it out of the park. I think he's kept that smile on his face. He hasn't given us any bulletin board material to his credit. And we'll see what happens. But I think that what the QB1 announcement yesterday, naming Deshaun Watson as QB1 yesterday, that was less about Deshaun and more about Shadeur. Shadeur's not good. He's just not good. I don't care what you guys say. Oh, well, he looked way better than Deshaun in that preseason game. Yeah, I get that. And the week before, Deshaun looked better than him in that preseason game. And, I mean, I want to stick to the rules that we follow for every other team and player in the NFL when it comes to preseason. If you are good in the preseason, it doesn't matter. It's just preseason. Right? So trying to do this whole, Shadeur Sanders, he clearly looked better. I don't care who looked better in a preseason game. And this is not an excuse for Deshaun, because I'm out on Deshaun as well. I guess I'm just saying I'm out on both quarterbacks. I think Cleveland's screwed. If I'm not making excuses, but like Deshaun, I know he was going against third stringers, but like he had no starters around him. The offensive line is already questionable when they're fully healthy. None of those guys were out there, all backups, all backup running backs. All right. All, potential cut candidate receivers all around him. Like, let's not, I don't want to give Deshaun any benefit of the doubt or anything like that, but I'm trying to use logic here. Meet me halfway. I think you guys would agree. I mean, if Joe Burrow went out there with the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 12th stringers and didn't look like Joe Burrow, I think a lot of you would acknowledge, well, he doesn't have anything around him. I'm going to use that same logic with Deshaun. Now, Deshaun is not Joe Burrow, even when he has pieces around him. All I'm saying is if you're going to take a quarterback that you're already questioning his ability and then put nothing around him and then wondering why he doesn't look so great, I think it all makes sense. Guys, remember last year, because people were pissed at Kevin Stefanski, Shadeur Sanders, they said, okay, Shadeur Sanders is, I think it was like the final preseason game. Shadeur, you're going to get the start in the final preseason game, and we're going to give you a ton of time, but you're not going to play with any of the ones. And then he went out there and he was running for his life the entire time, because he had nothing but cut candidates lining up in front of him on the offensive line. He had nothing but cut candidates as his wide receivers and running backs. And then people wondered why Shadeur didn't look good in that preseason game. It's the same thing here. Deshaun Watson playing well still probably isn't NFL starting caliber good, but that also to me screams, how bad is Shadeur? Like, Shadeur was not good last year. He just wasn't. What he provided was ESPN Sports Center with a couple, and Dylan Gabriel couldn't do this. Joe Flacco wasn't doing it in the first couple weeks in the first month that he was the Browns quarterback. Dylan Gabriel wasn't doing it. What Shadeur did, and Deshaun wasn't doing it even 2 years ago. What Shadeur did is he scrambled around. He made some throws on the run and made some highlight throws, and it made you feel a little bit more warm and fuzzy about the Browns, but they still lost. And even the games that they won towards the end, it was special teams and it was defense, and it was just enough offensively. But if you think that guy is all of a sudden going to blossom into and I don't give a damn about the Pro Bowl title. I saw people today say, I can't believe you have a Pro Bowl, it was a Pro Bowl quarterback last year and you're not going to start him. Stop it with that nonsense. We mock the Pro Bowl when the awards are handed out, and then we try to use it as like a badge of honor to justify our stance and him being disrespected. To me, Deshaun Watson being named the starting quarterback in Cleveland says more about Shadeur than it does about Deshaun. I think you have two bad options. All right. Do you want to jump off the cliff or do you want to be pushed off the cliff? Those are your options. I'm curious. What are you going to pick? Because the results of both options result in you splattered down at the bottom of the cliff. That's what's happening here. Do you want to be pushed off the cliff or do you want to jump off the cliff? Do you want Shadeur Sanders at quarterback? Do you want Deshaun Watson at quarterback? The results are still going to be the same. All right. Your chances of winning are going to be splattered all along the bottom. So it does not matter. It does not matter. That's why yesterday I didn't care that it was Deshaun that was named. I was mad that they had to announce it yesterday. There was no timetable, there was no timeline, there was no deadline to announce Deshaun as the starter. So I thought that was stupid. But my thoughts on Deshaun being the starter, I don't care because I don't think he's good, and I don't think Shadeur is good either. And I think that this is one of those things where it's developing the young talent on offense. I do think that the draft this upcoming season is going to be about getting dynamic young defensive players to complement the offense. They're going to be going into this new state-of-the-art dome in 2029. And I think this draft and next draft is all about building, getting the quarterback and getting young dynamic defensive players to complement Concepcion and Boston and Judkins and Harold Fannin Jr. I think it's and whoever the quarterback is, that's what these next two drafts are going to be. It's going to be in pieces so that this is a complete team heading, ideally, on paper. Their thought, in my opinion, it's all about putting all of this together with young, affordable talent as they ride out the remaining contract hell that they're under with Deshaun Watson. And it's not a coincidence that 2029, when they could shed any remaining evidence of Deshaun Watson away, is the first year that they're in that new stadium. And imagine to take young established talents by that time, like Boston and Concepcion and Judkins and Harold Fannin Jr. And maybe an Arch, maybe a Dante Moore, maybe who knows, Julian Sand, who knows? But it is what it is. I mean, like Deshaun playing good almost hurts the Browns, because the Browns, I don't think, are actually trying to win the division. I don't think they're trying to make the play. Winning 8 games this year sucks. That's been my biggest gripe, not gripe about Pittsburgh, but like they've almost worn it like, oh, we have 9 wins this year, and wearing it like a badge of honor. And I'm like, oh, you're just running in place. Now, Cleveland winning 9 games would be a big deal because they've been so bad lately. But what have you won? You missed the playoffs. You won 9 games. You get a crappier draft pick. You need a quarterback. You've won yourself away from any of the good quarterbacks. Oh, but you have 2 first-round picks. Yeah. Now you're going to have 2 picks in the first round outside of the top 10. I don't think that's going to entice anybody to give you a Dante Moore or anything like that. So, all right, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, 937-518-1410. Announced it in the first hour, announcing it here as well. Let's see what our count is right now. We're at 111 entries for the Dave Chappelle Summer Camp giveaway, okay? You have a chance to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Weird Pavilion in Yellow Springs this Thursday night. All you have to do is text comedy. Text comedy to 937-518-1410. Text comedy to 937-518-1410 for your chance to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle in Yellow Springs this Thursday night. We'll be right back.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimmel Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text SPARK to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPARK to 215-215. That's SPARK to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
.428 here in the Miami Valley. We welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. September 13th, NFL Sunday, Week 1. We bring back the Sunday morning tailgate show. Week 1 of the NFL season, the first Sunday of the NFL season, and every Sunday between then and Super Bowl Sunday, we will be live at Frickers in Miamisburg for the Sunday morning tailgate show, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We recap college football Saturday and get you set for that day's slate of NFL action. It'll be myself and Keith Byers every Sunday at Frickers in Miamisburg. The Sunday morning tailgate show makes its return. Week 1, Sunday, September 13th. So close, yet so far away. Scary moment for the Bengals and Jamar Chase as he goes down and is helped off the field early in practice. But he still favored the leg a little bit for the remainder of practice, although he was held out of any practice activities. Kelsey Conway, who was at camp, put a tweet out, and Tony Pike and Mo Egger of Cincinnati's ESPN 1530 had Jamar on from camp, and Jamar said he little small hyperextension, didn't feel good, but something serious, and he could have continued practicing if he had to, and if there was a game tomorrow, he'd be starting tomorrow. So that's good. The Bengals avoided disaster there. nonetheless. So we talked about that and just the quiet camp for the Bengals up to this point. I said that that's the biggest headline of Bengals camp thus far is the scary potential injury to Jamar Chase. I said the second biggest story of camp was the time that Joe Burrow wore a green hat. That was the second biggest story. That's how you know it's been a good camp, when there is nothing for media to sink their teeth on. And hopefully for the remainder, just under 3 weeks left of camp and off-season stuff or preseason stuff, that there's nothing for media to sink their teeth into unless Joe Burrow wears a blue hat. Then that's when it gets really scary and really dicey. How about this? So we talked about the Reds a little bit ago. Reds get shut out last night, by the way, 5-0. It was Chase Burns' worst outing of the season. I think that the Reds really need to consider shutting him down, but that's, something we discussed earlier in the show. We can get back to that in a moment, but the Reds getting shut out 5-0. It's the 14th time this season that they have been shut out. Their 14th shutout loss is tied for the Major League Baseball lead. This offense sucks. I mean, it's not good, but it's this team. You could tell that the team has taken their foot off the gas. You could tell that this team is kind of, I hate to use the word quit, but they've kind of, they don't have that fight left in them. Like, this is a team that looks defeated, and it's leading to them getting defeated almost every night now. They've lost 7 of their last 10. Game 2 tonight. I mean, like last night's shutout loss, that was the second shutout in the last 5 games, in the last 4 games. Second time in the last 4 games that they've been shut out. All right. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the third time in the last 7 games that they've been shut out. And it's the 4th time in the last 11 games that they've been shut out. And it's the 6th time. And it's amazing how I don't have to keep scrolling up too far before I find my next Reds loss via shutout. This lineup is just putrid. Simple as that. But the Reds back at it tonight, 9:45 the first pitch. It's a late one. Brady Singer going to be on the mound. And then tomorrow afternoon, there will be no show tomorrow. The Reds will be on at 3:45 first pitch. So Brady Singer on the mound tonight, and Nick Lodolo looking to close it out tomorrow for an early afternoon game right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. But I thought this was kind of cool. So there's going to be a heavy Reds presence on the national broadcast for the Reds this Sunday. At Chicago. So the Reds are going to be at the Cubs. And ironically enough, I just said how the Reds should shut down Chase Burns. Ironically enough, the next scheduled start for Chase Burns is this Sunday night for the Reds at the Cubs at Wrigley Field. That's a primetime night game under the lights at Wrigley Field on NBC. All right. And pretty excited about this. NBC just announced the complete talent lineup for Sunday Night Baseball for the matchup between the Reds and the Cubs. That game's going to be aired nationally on NBC and on Peacock this Sunday night. Now, what I love about it is the talent lineup that's going to be calling it. Jason Benetti is going to be doing play-by-play. Love him. Love that we're going to hear him call a Reds game on Sunday night. How about the fact that Anthony Rizzo, former Cub, is going to be an analyst in this broadcast as well? Joey Votto is going to be a part of the pregame and inside the pitch, so he's going to be involved in the broadcast. And how about Jeff Brantley? Jeff Brantley, I love Jeff Brantley. I mean, I do think that the one reason that the Reds, the one reason that it was a soft landing, and it's never a soft landing when you lose a legend like Marty Brennaman, but like, it's when you have a familiar longtime voice of the Reds alongside of Marty Brennaman that still calls games post Marty Brennaman, you may not hear Marty's voice, but there's still that same comforting, familiar voice that you used to hear alongside Marty all those years. And I think Tommy Thrall, he's a friend of mine. He's done a phenomenal job because, Tommy said initially when he replaced Marty, he goes, stop saying I'm replacing Marty. Nobody's going to replace Marty. But Tommy Thrall, I think, has done a phenomenal job, calling games for the Reds on the radio. I love listening to Tommy Thrall, and I love listening to the Cowboy. And I think that the Cowboy has made that transition a little bit more, seamless than we had anticipated because of that familiar voice. I love Brantley getting the love and the attention that he gets now nationally. And I love the fact that NBC is having him be involved as an analyst for the broadcast this coming up Sunday. Jeff Brantley, an analyst, to bring a Reds perspective. I love the fact that they're going to have Anthony Rizzo as an analyst as well, for a former Cub. And then, of course, you're going to have Jason Benetti doing the play-by-play. Joey Votto's involved in the pregame and inside the pitch and all the coverage around the game. The game's at Wrigley. Chase Burns is on the mound. The Reds don't have a lot to play for right now, but I mean, again, to go out there with Elly De La Cruz and potential National League Rookie of the Year, Sal Stewart, Chase Burns, who's well in the Cy Young conversation. He's not going to win it, but I think he's easily been a top 5 pitcher in baseball this year, no doubt about it. He'll have a chance to kind of redeem himself for his worst start of the season last night, where he didn't even make it out of the 4th. So it's the first time all season Chase Burns didn't go past the 5th inning or make it to at least the 5th inning. So I'm excited. I mean, there's not much Reds baseball left that I'm excited about. I am excited for that broadcast on Sunday. Big Jason Benetti fan. To hear the Cowboy alongside him and Rizzo and Votto be a part of the broadcast, I think that's pretty neat, pretty exciting at the end of the day. 4:35 here in the Miami Valley. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits. You know, just because the Reds are out of the playoff conversation, I think I'm waving the white flag on them, it doesn't mean that there's no chance of a professional baseball team here in the state of Ohio making the postseason. One of the hottest teams in baseball right now plays here in the state of Ohio. It's not the Reds. It's not hard to figure out. It's the Guardians. The Guardians have come roaring back. We'll talk about their recent hot streak when we come back. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Tuesday.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at columbusequipment.com.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places. What you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. From budget to the best. From desks to filing cabinets. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 Mac Oil Avenue in Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Grammy Award-winning Brothers Osborne, live in Dayton, Ohio for one night only. Friday, August 28th at Rose Music Center at the Heights. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com in the Rose Music Center box office. Don't miss Brothers Osborne, live in concert at Rose Music Center on Friday, August 28th.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit. When it's game time, you need a good playbook, especially in the kitchen. Because when a crowd wants wings, fresh pizza, and mouthwatering sliders, you better have options in your kitchen.
With Frigidaire Range, you get over 15 cooking modes, including stone-baked pizza, air fry, and air sous vide. Your game time MVP combo built right into your oven. Available at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, my house needs some help. It needs a new roof, new windows, and siding if I can afford it. I just don't know who to call. Your house is updated and looks so nice. Who does your work?
Buckeye Home Services does all my work. Their prices are affordable and they do a great job. Call 586-6600 for a free estimate. Buckeye does roofing, siding, gutters, leaf guards, windows, doors, patio covers, even kitchens and baths.
Sounds like they're the ones to call. What's that number again?
Buckeye Home Services, 586-6600.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring and has increased the hourly wage of $22.48. That's right. KTH is looking for elite production associates, including press operators, overhead crane operators, and forklift operators. Apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefonte, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Progressive presents perfectly bad excuses for missing stuff to spend more time on your ATV.
Hey, Wallace. Not going to the reunion after all. Think I got cursed. Keep stubbing my toe.
Now that was a bad excuse. If you love your vehicle this much, get customized coverage from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Looking for the best venue for your upcoming event or party? Check out our VIP suite at Polking Lane South. It's a unique state-of-the-art VIP private 8-lane luxury suite. It's not too late to book your holiday party. Call today and let the good times roll. Let us host your holiday event at any of our centers. Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue. Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive. Or Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kingsridge Drive.
ABS, does that mean always bring snacks? TPMS, does that mean tiny potholes make squeaks? AWD, does that mean all wheels are dancing? No, that's not right. But here's the truth. Carroll Works Tire knows the real meanings and will keep your car safe without all the jargon. Carroll Works Tire, tires, service, and tire values you can count on. Find us online at c-wtire.com or talk to a real human at 937-461-5441.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back as we wrap up the show today, about 4:44 here in the Miami Valley. I appreciate all the entries for a chance to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle in Yellow Springs on this Thursday night. Text comedy 937-518-1410. Text comedy 937-518-1410. Already 130 plus entries have been submitted, and we'll again select those winners, and we will be texting you. We'll need your name and your email, and your name will be added to the list, and you win a +1. Go check out Chappelle coming up on Thursday. So close yet so far away. Now, I'm talking about the NFL, so close yet so far away, but we had the Ohio State season kickoff show last night on 1410 ESPN Radio, and it's like, man, that's kind of crazy. Like, I still feel like college football is still a little bit away. Like, because we're so NFL crazy, and I'm focusing so much on what's coming ahead for college or for the NFL. I'm like, well, college football kicks off a week from Saturday. That's actually inaccurate. That's not true. It actually kicks off this weekend, right? We're going to see football kicked off this coming up weekend. USC and San Jose State will kick off coming up on Saturday at 3 o'clock on NBC. USC is a 38.5 point favorite. Yada yada. Who cares about that, right? Unless you're a degenerate and you're gambling on that game. More power to you. But we will see actual college football coming up this weekend with some Big Ten teams and this, that, and the other. But I am pretty excited about that we're going to get college football this week. I mean, a lot of college football this week. One of the bigger ones, we talked about USC, a top 25 team going to be in action. North Carolina against TCU. That'll be Saturday at noon on ESPN. We talked about USC and San Jose State, Virginia and NC State. All right, there's some bigger games as far as that's concerned. And then Thursday, September 3rd, a big slate of games coming up, next week. As far as that's concerned, some other Big Ten teams. Illinois will take on UAB. Colorado at Georgia Tech. Missouri, top 25, will welcome in Arkansas Pine Bluff. So college football will be here before you know it. And then on Saturday, September 5th, a week from this Saturday, Ohio State kicks it off. Kicks off the season, of course. Number 1 team in the country, Ball State, 12:30 the kickoff on the Big Ten Network. And, of course, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. But, yeah, Ohio State, the line is 50.5. So do with that what you will. Week 0 is officially here, nonetheless. I thought this was interesting. So about a couple hours ago, it was announced that the USC Penn State game this upcoming season that is scheduled for October 10th, that game will be a whiteout at Penn State, and that game will be, of course, on NBC and Peacock, and that's a 4:30 p.m. Kickoff nonetheless. So that'll be the next whiteout game for Penn State as they welcome in USC. Very curious to see what Campbell does with Penn State, to see if how quick can he get Penn State to bounce back. I mean, Penn State, they've always been interesting to me because they've always been a program that was always just kind of pushed into the conversation with Ohio State and Michigan in the Big Ten. But I'm like, they never really did anything, right? They didn't really accomplish it. They were always propped up. People get mad at the SEC because they've been over propped up, in preseason polls. But I think Penn State's always, and to their credit, when James Franklin was there, they recruited very well. And because they recruited very well, they got favored well when it came to rankings. The problem is they always came up short. They constantly underachieved when you look at the talent that they've had throughout. And, people, I remember last year when coaches were just so outraged at how disrespected James Franklin was. I mean, it's not like it was an isolated season type of reaction. I mean, every year James Franklin has some of the best talent in the country. And every year the season would end with us scratching our head saying, how did that team not accomplish it? I mean, the Big Ten ended up winning their 3rd straight national championship with a 3rd different team. And a lot of people thought that was going to be the case, but a lot of people thought that the Big Ten would have won their 3rd straight national championship last year with a different team outside of Michigan and Ohio State. And we all thought it was going to be Penn State. I remember I was at a golf outing last year with, it was with Paul Keels, and we were, one of the holes, I can't remember which one it was. We're at Scarlet and Gray over in Columbus, and it was closest to the pin. And I got closest to the pin. I was all excited because you either can get, you win a foursome to go golf back there again, or you get tickets to the Ohio State Penn State game. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely picking these Ohio State Penn State tickets. Are you kidding me? That's going to be one of the biggest games of the season. And then Penn State, James Franklin's fired before the first month of the season even wraps up. And, all these people bought super expensive tickets early in the year. And now tickets that I could have easily got about $1,000 for, if I really wanted to make, a couple $100, I guess I could have sold it for $150. That's how much the value in those tickets dropped. So we said, screw it. We're going to go watch Ohio State, Penn State. It just wasn't the same. Penn State, that was not a quick reaction. All right. That was a ripping the Band-Aid off of just finally accepting that James Franklin and Penn State were never going to get over that hump. But Penn State, USC at Penn State, whiteout, 4:30 kickoff, October 10th, NBC Peacock. I'm excited about that game already. Nonetheless, Ohio State, I'm not like I'm super excited for Ball State by any means, but at least it's going to be a matchup to kind of help prime Ohio State for their showdown with Texas in week 2. And that's going to be the one that everyone's talking about, especially at Texas. I don't know if you've seen some of the reports coming out. They're not really reports. I'm sorry. It's message board gremlins. Message board gremlins have come out and just talked about a lot of the, you have parents of players coming out saying that they're ready to expose all the chaos that's happening behind the closed doors at Texas practices and this, that, and the other. Ohio State is going to be on the road at night at Texas under the lights, SEC opponent, and they could be walking in to a dysfunctional mess. And they could, for the Ohio State, the number one team in the country already, to go into Texas and potentially pull off a win because they can't get their blank together. That's huge for the Big Ten, huge for Ohio State, huge for college football. We'll see what ultimately happens. But yeah, college football, it's here. I'm so focused on the NFL. I'm excited that college football is kicking off this week, nonetheless. So that USC Penn State game is going to be on NBC and Peacock on the 10th. We just talked about NBC and Peacock in the previous part of the show. I thought it was pretty cool that the Cubs and Reds game this Sunday night is going to be on Peacock and NBC, a nationally televised game. Reds at Cubs at Wrigley Field. Jason Benetti going to be on the call. Love that. All right. Anthony Rizzo will be an analyst in the broadcast, as well as Jeff Brantley. So that's pretty exciting. I'm excited to see and hear Jeff Brantley as an analyst alongside Jason Benetti and Anthony Rizzo for the Reds Cubs at Wrigley Field on Sunday night with Chase Burns on the mound. Joey Votto is going to be a part of the broadcast as well. He's going to be a part of the pregame. And of course, throughout the game, a part of the broadcast inside the pitch and a part of the broadcast and the coverage for Reds and Cubs on Sunday night. So pretty exciting nonetheless. I wish the Reds were still relevant. But that's just not the case. But, there's another team in Ohio that has climbed back into it. The Guardians, I know a lot of Guardians fans were pissed off about the trade deadline. Again, this is a team that always seems to have the pitching. They just never seem to have the complementary hitting. And that's something that we're seeing, a lot of in Cincinnati. Terry Francona leading, his former team, with Cleveland, and now, very similar things in Cincinnati. I think it's just way worse in Cincinnati. Cleveland -7 run differential, but they have been able to win 5 straight. They've been able to even their record back up at 500. They're 66-66, and most importantly, they've climbed back to within a few games of the division lead. They have a chance to not just make the playoffs in the wild card, but to actually win this division. They're 2.5 games back of the White Sox. All right, the White Sox, they're 5-5 in their last 10. They haven't been playing their best baseball. And you look at what's coming up for the Guardians right now. It's as far as the White Sox, they don't play the White Sox until mid-September. All right, they kick off a series with the White Sox on September 14th, 15th, and 16th. So they do have another showdown with the team that they are 2.5 games behind right now. So that's something to keep an eye on, baseball fans. I know we're kind of out on the Reds, but we could at least turn our attention towards the Guardians. It is funny, the difference between baseball and football. If the Browns are out of it, I'm not pulling for the Bengals. And if, the Bengals, if the Bengals are out of it, you're not pulling for the Browns. And I get it. You're going to make your joke. Well, if the Bengals are out of it, the Browns are never in a position for us to be going for them. Well, true, kind of. People do seem to forget that the Browns and the Bengals, between the two teams, the Browns have the most recent playoff appearance between the two teams. So as bad as things are in Cleveland, all right, and as good as things have been at times in Cincinnati, it is crazy that the Bengals, who haven't made the playoffs in the last 3 years, that the Browns actually have the most recent playoff appearance between the two. But I have a lot of closest friends are Guardians fans, and there's no animosity there. I have close friends that are Bengals fans, and I can't stand them on Sundays, or on social media, or in person. My brother-in-law is a Bengals fan. I don't like him either. I do like him, but I don't like him during the season. There you go. All right, good stuff, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out today. Dave Chappelle going to be at Warwick Pavilion on Thursday night, okay? No show tomorrow. The Reds wrap up the series with the Giants. They're Game 2 tonight. It's a late one, 9:45. Brady Singer going to be on the mound tonight, and then tomorrow, Nick Lodolo will look to close it out for a 3:45 first pitch right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So you have that for you right here. But Dave Chappelle, Warwick Pavilion, in the cornfields in Yellow Springs Thursday night, and we're giving away tickets. For your chance to win those tickets, text COMEDY 937-518-1410. Text COMEDY to 937-518-1410. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. This has been the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits.